How's it going? This is Hoiman, and today we're taking a look at the S.H.Figuarts Cure Macaron figure. So she is a web exclusive figure, but you still get the window to see the figure inside. You have pictures for the top, both sides, and then legal stuff for the bottom, and then you have various pictures of the figure on the back. And to open the figure, just lift open the side flap and then lift open the front cover. And there's the figure all together with her accessories. So first you do get some instructions showing what the figure comes with and how to operate the accessories. And it also shows you how to assemble the cake attack. So here's the actual figure itself, and for the most part I think this figure is okay. Like, the sculpt is really nice, but I do have quite a few gripes with the figure. But taking a closer look at the sculpt, I feel that they captured the likeness of the character really well. The face looks just like her. And then you move on to the hair, which is a nice matte pink finish, but then you have the darker shades of the purple to really bring out the details in the strands and the layers of the folds. And overall it does look really nice, but it is quite different compared to the rest of the Kira figures, because the rest of the Kira figures, their hair doesn't really have a whole lot of shading, but for Cure Macaron they decided to go with a lot more shading for whatever reason. It might be because she's a really popular character, but because of that, she does kind of stand out from the rest of the other figures. So it's just something to keep in mind of. But it is nicely sculpted. Even the underside is sculpted with all the layers. But there is a seam line here which does detract a bit, but you can't really see it since it's hidden. But then there is a seam line that kind of runs around the edge of the hair as well, and again, it is a bit detracting, but it isn't super noticeable. And I think one of my gripes with it is the way they sculpted the hair here. I know it's to allow for the articulation, but I don't know, it just looks a bit odd with this kind of cut here. And with these sides of the parts of hair here, it just makes it look really odd. But I suppose that's just going to be for personal preference, really. But then you have the dessert on her head. It's really nicely sculpted, it's a nice glossy finish. And then you have her cat ears, which are solid, so you have to be careful you don't break them. But they are nicely sculpted and detailed. And then looking at her outfit, again, very nicely sculpted. The pouch here is a glossy finish, whereas the rest of the outfit is a nice matte finish. And then you have her skirt. You can see all the different layers in the sculpt. All the folds of the dessert and cream sort of details, and then it's sculpted underneath with all the layers as well. And then you have her ribbon on the back, which is a softer material, so you don't have to worry about those breaking. And then you have her tail as well, has like a kind of wash over it to bring out the detail as well. And then you move down to her shoes. Again, very nicely sculpted, and then the bracelet on her ankle is a nice glossy and metallic finish, but it is a bit of a paint slop here with the silver. It kind of blends to the purple a bit, but other than that, for the most part, the paintwork is very clean. You can see there is some scruffy parts here on the skirt, but like I said, for the most part, the paintwork is very nice and clean. So for articulation, the neck is on a single ball joint, so she can look down about that much. She can look up about that much, but the hair does kind of restrict it a bit. She can tilt her head side to side as well as twist. And for this figure, her hair is actually completely solid, so it does kind of make the head a bit heavy and back heavy, but because the neck joint is very tight, it doesn't really unbalance the head or anything, so that's a nice improvement over the older figures. But each hair is on a ball joint, so you can move those back and forth however you like. And then you can kind of tilt it side to side as well and twist them as well. And that's the same for this hair as well. For the shoulders, it's on a ball joint, so you can move her arm about however you like. And the sleeve is a solid piece, but it's very movable, so it doesn't really get in the way of articulation too much. And then the ball joint is on a hinge as well, so you can bring your arm out to the side. And it does also have the new pull-out method, so you can pull out the arm slightly, and that allows for a bit more range, so that's nice. And then she does have the bicep swivel as well, and a single jointed elbow. And then she has the really thin ball joints for the wrist. And Bandai continues to give these Precure figures really thin wrist joints, so just be careful you don't break them. For the torso, and this is where my main gripe with the figure comes in, it's on a ball joint, so she can lean forward that much, lean back that much, lean side to side, and also twist. And my main complaint with the figure is the waist, and I'm sure you can tell, but it's just extremely loose, and she just can't really hold her weight at all really. And because the hair is so heavy as well, it really does make her just lean back all the time. So you can't really stand this figure on her own without a display stand. So it is quite unfortunate, and it is a bit of a QC issue still, but again, I can't really say if that's the case for every figure, but for mine in particular, it's just really loose. So that's my biggest gripe with this figure. And then moving down to the skirt is a softer material and it's split into two parts. So that allows the leg for some articulation. So the waist is on a ball joint, so you can move her legs about however you want. You can also twist them. And then each leg is on a ball joint, so she can kick about that far to the side, kick forward that much, kick back that much. She has the thigh swivel, and then single jointed knees, get quite a lot of range of motion. And then for the ankle, it's on a ball joint, so you can go back that much, forward that much, can lean side to side as well as twist. And then the tail itself is on a ball joint, so you can move about however you like. And then halfway there's a hinge as well, so you can rotate the tail as well. So for the most part, she has all the articulation you'd expect the Figuarts to have, and a bit more as well, because you have the pull-out method of the shoulders and also tail articulation. And because of her design, she is able to get pretty much all the range of motion, so you should be able to get all the poses you'd want from this figure. But that's the figure. Let's take a look at the accessories. For faces, she comes with a default smiling face, a similar face but with her looking slightly to the right, another similar face, she's again looking to the right but her mouth is slightly opened, and finally an angry shouting face. For hands, she comes with a pair of open palmed hands, and she also comes with a rack of hands. So a pair of fists, an open palmed hand, one hand to hold her weapons, two chopping hands, one hand to hold her perfume box, another posing hand, a hand to hold her weapon, open palmed hand, another open palmed hand, and a one hand holding an accessory. She also comes with an extra neck joint without the hinge to help support her head. She comes with a perfume box, really nicely sculpted and detailed. She comes with her main weapon, very nicely sculpted and detailed as well. And then she comes with an alternate piece for her skirt, which is sculpted in a way so that you can do her henshin pose. And it is a softer material as well. And then she comes with a display base, which is pretty much necessary for this figure. And then finally, she comes with her cake attack part, which is pretty much a translucent piece and has the decoration of her cake, and it does look nice for the most part. And then she also comes with the two stands to help support the cake attack. So my final thoughts are, overall this is a nice looking figure. It looks really nice, nicely sculpted, and the paintwork is very clean for the most part. And it's overall a very nice accurate representation of the character. But like I've already said, with the gripes I have, is the back of the hair sculpted quite oddly to allow for the joints. It just looks a bit odd to me. And then the really loose waist joint makes this figure really difficult to pose and isn't really able to stand upright without the display stand. And then my other gripe is that, for whatever reason, her legs can't seem to bend completely straight. If you look, they're always kind of semi-bent. So it makes her not able to stand upright properly. It just makes the figure kind of unbalanced, and I'm not too sure why that's the case, because I'm pretty sure from our work and stuff she's able to stand fully straight, but for whatever reason with the figure they sculpted the knee really low so that it just doesn't allow the leg to bend all the way straight, so she's always kind of semi crouching a bit, and it does unbalance the figure. And other minor gripes is that she does have somewhat loose joints, like the loose elbows, and the shoulders are a bit loose as well. Like I already said, the waist is just completely loose. So overall, she's an improvement over the older figures, but at the same time, she still has a lot of QC issues going on. And she also has some odd design decisions, like the hair and then the legs not able to bend straight. But other than that, like I said, she is a nice looking figure, really good accurate representation of the character, but because she is web exclusive, she is very expensive, and she's a newer style of the figures as well, so the price has risen dramatically over the older Precure figures. But if you are a fan of this character or the show, then I can still recommend this figure, but just keep in mind of all the gripes I've mentioned. But that's my review. Thank you for watching and enjoy some pictures.